Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I'm going to talk about whether or not I think VR in Microsoft Flight Simulator is worth it in 2021. This video is specifically for VR in Microsoft Flight Simulator, not VR in general. The reason why I'm asking this question is because lots of people are probably wondering whether or not they should take the leap into VR and invest in a headset and figure out how to use it. There's a lot of indecisiveness when it comes to VR. A, it's quite expensive, and B, there's not that many games compared to flat screen available for it. So I'll be discussing some pros and cons, and I'll share some fun ideas I have with VR, some personal opinions, and the verdict to see whether or not VR is worth it in 2021. So looking at some of the pros, the first thing I want to say is how immersive the experience is. It takes gaming to a different level. It changes your perspective, it changes the way you are in space, you can feel the space, you can judge it, you can interact with it. It's a completely different experience. Although in 2D mode, the simulator looks really good, in VR mode, it just looks captivating. You can almost feel the sun rays when it shines down on you, because your mind is playing tricks on you. When you're thinking, what? Why am I feeling that warmth from that sun ray through the window? It's like, what? So I think your mind plays tricks on you. So yeah, the 3D awareness, the height, the depth, the space. I got to say, it's excellent in combination with a yoke or a joystick and a setup. So you've got the VR plus, the chair, the joystick, the yoke, and that is really, really immersive. It's incredibly liberating when you've been traveling a couple of hours and it actually feels like you've been traveling in reality. It's weird. It's really cool though, but you don't get the jet lag, which is good. To be honest, I never play pancake mode anymore. It just simply doesn't do it anymore. I mean, I can totally understand why some people will prefer it, and that's cool. But for me personally, I like the immersion, and I like to feel like, yeah, that depth, that 3D element of it is just something that you can't beat. So those are the pros for the VR. Now looking at some of the cons, one of the major reasons people don't go for VR is because you actually need a higher spec PC really to handle all the technology. So to have a problem-free experience, you definitely need a higher end PC, and it's expensive, and people don't need it. They don't need the higher end PCs, so why would they buy it? That's definitely a con. If it was more accessible for people and it would run on reasonable machines, I think it would be more popular. It can still be unpredictable. Depending on the headset, like with the Reverb G2, I'm having like zero problems. But with the Quest 2, it can be challenging at times. I was constantly troubleshooting with the Quest 2, but I'm not going to say it's a bad thing. It's a great headset. It just takes a while to set it up and get it going and understanding when it crashes and what to do with it. But again, like it's a con because it is interfering with the gameplay. You want to sit down and play. You don't want to have to worry about all those settings all the time. So that's definitely a con, depending on the headset. It's a steep learning curve when you first start using VR. It's kind of difficult to navigate, understand how it works, how to go in and out of VR. So it can take some time to get used to and to fully get to grips with the setup and the functions and everything. Troubleshooting with VR is pretty challenging because of the lack of information online. So there's no official manual. Like, we have the forums and everything, but an actual manual, it doesn't exist. And those are some of the cons for VR in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I've got some fun ideas for VR that I kind of messed around with, and I thought I'd just share them here. So here's a good one. You set up a fan near your chair and point it at slow speed, either directly on yourself or just nearby, to get the wind effect. For open top planes like gliders, it just helps push that sense of immersion even further. Another thing I do is lower my aircon really low, so if I'm in a cold climate, I sort of feel it more. Or sometimes I just turn it off so I can feel the heat again. So what I do sometimes is I put a chair behind my seat, and I physically stand up and move to the seat behind, and I sit down and I'm a passenger, and that's really cool because it's so immersive. You can do it with the keyboard too, but it's fun to actually stand up and walk back and sit down in a different seat, all in VR. So they're just some fun ideas that I mess around with lately. So my personal opinions about VR in general is that I think the future of simming is in VR. Just because it's so much more immersive and it really provides a much more interactive and unique experience. And I think as technology gets better and the consumer market is then good enough to run VR well, I think it'll be the future of gaming. So is VR worth it in 2021 in Microsoft Flight Simulator? My answer is a resounding yes. It's definitely worth getting VR. If you have a good PC, if you have the patience and the interest to run it and deal with troubleshooting, I would definitely say it's worth getting VR, especially the Reverb G2. It's the really ideal headset for this simulator. I would actually wait a bit longer to get it if your PC is not powerful and you don't want to go through the troubleshooting. I would just wait and hang on, and I'm sure soon enough some new models will come out and it'll be much easier to use. So yeah, guys, as you know, I love VR. I'm always using VR. I fly in VR every time I use the program. I can't recommend it enough. I hope this video somehow helps you decide if you want to get into VR or not. Please let me know if you've got any questions or comments. I'll do my best to help. Please like and subscribe if you like the content. And as always, guys, take care and stay safe.